All right, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Rotimi. How is the family, sir?
Very fine, thank you, ma'am. All right, so let's get started. It's another trading day, and today is a big day, the NFP day. So I want to welcome everybody on board, those who are just joining us. Good morning, Temitokpe. Good morning, good morning. So today we have serious high impact event. And it starts by 2:30 p.m. For all the events, all the tradable events today is going to happen at 2:30 p.m. No, we don't have any events this morning. Let me just confirm. Yeah, we don't. We don't have any tradable events, no event at all this morning. So in the afternoon, we're going to have the employment rate and unemployment change from Canada. It's coming up by 2:30 p.m. And simultaneously, we are also going to be having the average hourly earnings, non-farm employment change, and unemployment rate coming up from the United States. So all the 5 events are going to run simultaneously. They will run at the same time. So the first 2, let's quickly look at it. For the unemployment change, it measures the change in the number of employed people during the previous month, and actual greater than forecast, is good for the currency. And for the unemployment rate, it measures is the percentage of the total workforce that is unemployed and actively seeking employment during the previous month. Now, there's a contrast here. This one, actual less than forecast, is good for the currency. For the first one, actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. For the second one, actual less than forecast is good for the currency. Now, in order not to get confused about it all, we're going to depend more on the colors for this. If you see a green, it indicates that the news overall favors CAD, that is, favors the Canadian dollar, and as such, we're expected to buy the CAD. That is if you have a green scenario, either as actual greater than or actual less than, it means the news favors the CAD and we expect a bullish movement on the Canadian dollar. And also simultaneously, if we have a red scenario, it means the news did not favor the CAD, and as such, we expect a decline, that is a bearish movement or a sell in the CAD. I'll repeat that again. A green means we are buying the CAD. A red means we are selling the CAD. We'll still look at the technical analysis side of it, but that's just the fundamental that we're looking at the moment. And for the dollar, there are 3 events. We have the average hourly earnings, which is the change in the price businesses pay for labor, excluding the farming industry. So it means people are being paid maybe $10 per hour, $20 per hour. So that's what that is all about. Then we have the non-farm employment change, which is the change in the number of employed people during the previous month. And for this one also, actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. And finally, we have the unemployment rate, which is the percentage of the total workforce that is unemployed and actively seeking employment during the previous month. And for this one also, for this one, just like the one we had in CAD, actual less than forecast is good for the currency. So for the average hourly earning and non-farm employment change, actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. For the unemployment rate, actual less than forecast is good for the currency. Like we did in CAD, we're also doing the same. We're going to focus more on the colors. If we have a green, it means we are buying the dollar, we're buying the USD. And if the outcome is a red, it means we are selling the dollar. We are buying the dollar. If we're buying the dollar, it means we're buying USD CHF, USD JPY, or USD CAD. And we'll say we're selling the dollar. It also means we could sell USD JPY, USD CHF, or USD CAD. Now, there are other scenarios that will come up, which I will show us now. Good morning, Chima. Like for the card, we've only talked about the perfect scenario where we have a red, or a green. What if we have a scenario where we have a red and green or a green and red? What do you do in such scenario? If you had a red, green or a green, red, I will advise as a final result, you may have to stand down. That is, you may not have to trade because that will lead to a conflict. Except if the sentiment on the card technically is very strong, except that well, if you are new to trading, I will advise if you see a red green, you don't need to trade in such scenario, because that will lead to a conflict. Or another thing you can do is that if you look at the technicals and we have a technical bias, even if it comes out as a red green, we may wait a little and see how the movement will go. If it will eventually go in the line of the technicals, then it's only in such condition that you trade. Otherwise, if it's a conflicting data, it is best to stay out. And the same thing also applies to the dollar. Now, we're having 3 events here. Now, I want you to know that these events are not directly related, so much like that. Average hourly earnings, employment, unemployment. So if we have a scenario where the data are also not saying the same thing, like we have a red, green, a green, red, you have to trade with caution, in such a scenario, except if also you want to wait a little and see if price will go in line with the technical projection. Then you wait, let it spike. Now, when the data is conflicting, what will result out of that is what is called a spike. That is, the market will buy and sell simultaneously. That's we call it a spike. And that is not a good scenario because it means if you buy, it will turn to a sell. It means if you sell, it will turn to a buy. Either way, you may lose. But if you want to be patient a little and see if the market will eventually go in line with the technical projections, that's only condition under which you will trade when the data is conflicting. Otherwise, I will advise you stay out in such a situation. So that's my view fundamentally. We're now going to the technicals to see the projection we have ahead of this news. And I'm going to start with the card because we're having the card news coming up first. Now, for most of the card pairs, we are really not having any direct setup, but I can see only a setup on 2 card instruments, and that's card JPY and GBP card. And I'll show you what I have on both instruments now as a tradable setup. Now for card JPY, this is my view on card JPY. Now, please, I want us to note that NFP today from US and employment change and unemployment rate in Canada, to be honest, sometimes these events may not really depend on technicals. I want to emphasize that. However, if it goes in line with the technical, it means that the movement will be stronger. But then independently, even if the outcome is not aligning with the technical, you can still trade it. What I'm saying in essence is that if from the technical, we are saying we're having a bullish projection and fundamental come out and it says it's a sell, please sell. The only difference is that the technicals, if the technicals will go like 100 pips, I mean, if the news comes out with the technicals and it may go like 100 pips, if it does not come out with the technical, it may go like some 40, 50 pips. So either ways, the news today can be tradable. The only difference is that going, for some other time, I'll tell you, we'll do strictly follow what the technical is saying. But when it comes to NFP, sincerely, it can be very flexible. You trade in the line of the outcome of the news. But at the same time, please avoid over trading and avoid trading with lot size. Don't say because it's NFP, you want to hammer fast. No. Sometimes volatility can also cause an issue. So trade as if you're doing normal trading. Put every risk management in place. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing on the card JPY. Okay, somebody is asking a question. What of a scenario where all card gives red, all USD gives green? vice versa. Well, that means we are looking at USD card. Generally, on a day like this, I'm always very cautious with USD card. I will address that issue. Let me just talk about the card first. We talk about the dollar. They will now, end it all with the analysis on USD card itself as an instrument. So let me just have my thoughts in place. Now, this is what I'm seeing on the card. So I think I responded to Mr. Samuel. All right. Now, this is what I'm seeing on the card. We have an uptrend on the daily time frame. Okay. You can see here we have an uptrend. This price is trending up. If you go to the weekly, it's still the same. In fact, I think it's projecting. It's still a valid uptrend even on the weekly time frame. Okay, that one distorted it a little. But then we still let's stay with the daily. The daily is much more clearer. As per the weekly, it's yet to touch the trend line, but on the daily, we can see it's touching the trend line on the daily. So let me stick with the daily. You can see where I'm making to touch each other. That's the lower part of the daily candle. Not exactly the shadows. The emphasis is more on the lower part of the body. We have a little fake out here. That's why I pushed that one up. And we have the tip of yesterday candle touching this place and bouncing off. A little fake out here also, but we have a support. So from a technical angle, this could actually, go back in the bullish direction. That's on the daily time frame. And if I take it down to 4 hour, I can draw so we have a falling wedge, an uptrend on the daily, a falling wedge on the 4 hour, which technically will give rise to, a bullish continuation. So if the news comes out good for the card, I might be looking at buying the card JPY because we have a bullish technical projection on card JPY. Now, what if the news comes out, not favoring the card and we expect it to sell? Yes, you can sell. At least its guaranteed price will touch this support level. And that should be let's look at it. That should be some 60 pips away. That is still equally not a bad trade. This news can be volatile. If this one breaks out, is a continuation that could give from the average of, let's see, on the average, this could give, let me get my crosshair, could give as much to Fibonacci 50 can net about 63 pips to Fibonacci 61.8, about 80 pips, and it will go beyond that. That's more like a swing trade. But on the short term, we will have about 60 pips down to the support level. So either way the news comes out, like I said, the only consideration here is that if it comes out in line with the technical, it may go up higher. It may even come to hit the 100 later on. And if it's on the downtrend, it may hit the support. And if the volatility is strong enough, honestly, price could actually break that support level. And this is because today's news can be extremely volatile. All right. So, but then technically for now, I'm bullish on. Yes, Mr. Olubodun Jamio. I'll surely prepare the Fibonacci video. Yeah. My schedule can be a bit tight, but I promise maybe this weekend it will surely be ready. Just keep watching my channel. I'll drop it. All right. So, but technically for now, I'm bullish on the card JPY pending the outcome, of the news by 2:30 p.m. And the other instrument, which is just the opposite of this, is GBP card. All right. So this is GBP card. On the daily time frame, we have price hit a resistance level some few days ago. Price hit a resistance level some few days ago. One, up to the second time, and a third time. So technically, we're looking for a bearish, movement on GBP card. Okay, Chima is asking, what is the name of the channel? Just go to YouTube and type Learn Forex with Rotimi Olawale. Just type it there, it's going to bring it out so you can subscribe. And please click on the notification bell and drop comments when you watch the videos so that the algorithm can be triggered for more people to see my videos. All right, so we have price hit the resistance on the daily time frame, and on the 4-hour, we have a trend line and another trend line that gives us a rising wedge. All right, so technically we're expecting a bearish breakout, because when price hits resistance, you expect price to go bearish. When price breaks out from a rising wedge, you expect it to go bearish. So two reasons why we're looking for a sell. So again, if the news comes out to favor the card, while card JPY may buy, GBP card will sell. So because here in the GBP card, the card is the quote currency. In the card JPY, the card is the base currency. So if the news comes out as a green and card JPY is buying, GBP card will sell. And GBP card selling, GBP card is actually more volatile than card JPY. It's more volatile. If GBP card is going to sell to Fibonacci 50, could give as much as 18, exactly 90 pips, and to 61.8 will give 130 pips. And now, what of a scenario where the news now comes out not to favor the card, then GBP card will actually reverse into a buy here to hit that daily resistance. And if that happens, you may have price go as high as about 57 pips. So either ways, all I'm just saying is that if the news is in line with our technicals, the movement will be longer. If it's not in line, it will still go that direction, but not as much. You can still trade it, but it won't go as much as if it's in line with the technical. So that's just my analysis on the card. Now I'll go to the dollar. Now with the dollar, there is a little bit of a change of market structure from what we started with at the beginning of the week. Remember my analysis clearly at the beginning of the week, I said I was bearish on the dollar because that's what I actually saw. But currently, the dollar index is trading at a support level. It's trading at a support level. Now, in technical analysis, we actually trade what we see, and that's what I'm seeing now. So if the news comes out to favor the dollar might go bullish. If the news favors the dollar, yeah, it may go bullish because price is on a support level on the daily time frame of the dollar index. So if we have a green, then the market could really go bullish on the USDX. That is the dollar index. Now, if that happens to the dollar index, let's check what could happen to the other dollar instruments. And with that, I will start actually with USDCHF. Now, from our outlook at the beginning of the week, the USDCHF has exact similar structure with the dollar index. So this time around again, the USD CHF is also trading around a support level. Though from our earlier outlook in the week, we were seeing this as a likely double bottom pattern. Double bottom pattern, which should lead to a bearish breakout. But then currently price is at the neckline. And if the news favors the dollar, price may actually go up. You say it's possible for this. In fact, if it's a double top, the double top is not looking as sharp as I'd expected it to look anymore, because if it's double top, it should just go like this and drop. But now, with what I'm seeing, we may have price now do like this, which could be a head and shoulder, which can be later anyway. But all I'm saying now is that if the news favors the dollar, most likely we should have a bullish movement on the dollar index. Now, does that mean you should not trade it if the news, comes out not to favor the dollar? Sure, you can, but then if the bullish is much more going to be volatile compared to if the news, comes out against the dollar. But from technical here, I will rather vote for a bullish dollar from what I'm seeing, except if the market will do otherwise. So technically, I'm looking at a bullish dollar, pending the outcome of the news. And if the news comes out against the dollar, definitely you can sell. But the technicals is what I'm seeing at the moment. As in the bullish is what I'm seeing at the moment, rather. And the other one is the USD card. And I'll use this to answer the person that was asking about the USD card. Now, for the USD card also, we can see that price is clearly on a support level. That's where price is. Price is trading exactly on a support level for the USD card. So if price is on the support level, then if the news comes out, to favor the dollar, price could also go bullish. Now, it will actually take a lot of volatility for price to break the support level. So if the news comes out against the dollar, if it's volatile enough, it will actually break it. Otherwise, we'll consider the bullish movement first, because that is what we can see, except if the market does otherwise. So now for you to buy USD card, what outcome are you looking at? Now let's go back to the Forex Factory page. To buy USD card, it means we are seeing a green on the dollar and a red on the card. That is the only scenario where you should trade USD card. Even though I use it to explain the dollar, please, it's not to be used. Just for if you are to trade NFP today, just trade USD CHF. That's the direct one. USD card, you should only trade it if the news comes out to favor the dollar, in which case you see a green for a buy for the dollar and a red for a sell on the card. Because when you are buying an instrument, it means the base currency is strong and the quote is weak. The base is USD, the quote is a card. Sorry for that sound. That's the PU demand. The PU profit scanner. So that's it on a USD card. Now, I also want to take a look at, and peradventure you want to sell it also. Let me make it broad. Then that means you need to have the upward. And please take note of what I'm saying here. I'm not saying card we have a green and a red. No, it must be plain like this. A red and a green for the dollar, a red for the card, all through. Or otherwise, if we turn it the other way around, and we have a green for the card and a red for the dollar, then you can sell in such instance. It must be red, green for whatever you are doing. Not that within the dollar you have some red, you have some green, you have some black, and within the card you have a green and you have a red. No, that will not work. It must be red, green, and you trade in that direction. That's the only reason why you should trade USD card as a currency pair today. The news will happen simultaneously, so you can't. I'm not using it for trade. I'm not using USD card for trading card. Neither am I using it for trading dollar. It's only to trade it as an instrument on its own if the fundamentals align with it the way I'm explaining it. So let's take note of that. Now, we also need to take a look at gold, because gold will also react to this news, but it contains the dollar, even though the dollar in the gold is a quote currency, not the base currency. Now, gold made a kind of an all-time 22-year high yesterday. It has not gone as high as this in the last 22 years. At least that's what we can see on the MT4. MT4 can only date back to 20 years currently, except maybe we increase the number of bars. There's a way you can increase the bars at the back end to see more, or you go to other charting platforms, probably like TradingView, then you can see, way back more into the past. This is the last high. The last high is this point, and that was sometime in October 2023, and that's at 2,143. Now, currently, gold is trading at 2,160. This is the high so far in about 22 or 20 years thereabouts. No, 22 years. The last time was 2020 or so. So, or 2000 rather. So price already broke an all-time high. Two things could happen. Price could retrace back to this last high could be taken as a resistance. Price could retrace back to that old resistance as a support and continue going higher. Continue going higher. That's a possibility, or we could have an actual reversal based on the outcome of the NFP this afternoon. So we look at those two possibilities. If you go down to the lower time frame, like this is the daily, if you go to the 4-hour, now there are two possibilities I'm seeing at the moment. On the 4-hour, we have a minor resistance here between these two candles. Between this candle and this candle, there's a minor resistance there. So if you flip down to 1-hour time frame, this is what I'm seeing on the 1-hour. So let's take the resistance up there. So this is the resistance. We have a minor resistance right here, which could lead to a bearish breakout. So what we're seeing currently is a bullish candle. Well, it may hit that resistance and still reverse back. Anything can happen. Now, for this one, again, if the news favors the dollar, gold will sell, at least to this old resistance turn support level, it will sell if the news favors the dollar. I'm taking the opposite because gold is opposite the dollar. So if the dollar is buying, gold is selling. So if the news favors the dollar, gold will reverse and sell. However, if the news does not favor the dollar, gold may break. This is a minor, excuse me, it's a minor resistance. It's a minor resistance on 1-hour. It's not as strong as daily or weekly resistance. If the news does not favor the dollar, gold can easily break this resistance and shoot up higher, than what we're seeing at the moment. So if you want to trade gold this afternoon, I'll advise we can look at a range between these two places, this resistance and support. We can take that as our range. A breakout below the range will mean a sell, and a breakout above the range could mean a buy. So for those who might want to trade certain pending orders, you can look at some pips above and some pips below this range. That's between 2162.10 and the 2153.52. That could just be your range to trade this afternoon, for the NFP. Now, okay, so that's just my view, on the dollar. This is NFP. Price could go either ways. So if the news favors the dollar, the gold will sell. If it does not, gold will surely break above that current resistance and, go higher than what we are seeing at the moment. Okay, I think that should be all from my end. And a technical setup that may also give us some pips, which we can also look at is the GBP USD. It's still one of the dollar instruments. I'm not really having some clarity on Euro USD, but there's a clarity on GBP USD. Now, on the daily time frame, GBP USD, closed on a resistance level yesterday. This is a resistance, and the price closed exactly on the resistance level yesterday. So if you flip down to 1 hour time frame, you can draw a trend line right there. And we can draw a second one at the back to form a rising wedge. So if the news favors the dollar, GBP USD will surely sell. Because here the dollar is a coast currency, just like we expect gold to sell. If the news favors the dollar, GBP USD will sell. And if the news does not favor the dollar, except the volatility is strong, because you can see price is exactly on a resistance level. And another thing, let me just confirm this. Yeah, another thing I'm seeing on GPUS is that I can see the formation of a head and shoulder, and that's a confirmation of a sell. So maybe the news may come out favoring the dollar, because technically that's what I'm seeing actually on the dollar index. So if that happens, then we should get ready to sell both gold and GPUSD if the news favors the dollar. So if the news favors the dollar, you can buy USD or you can sell gold and GBP USD if the news favors the dollar. Now, if the news does not favor the dollar, you can sell USD CHF and you can buy gold. So that's my outlook on the NFP this afternoon. All right, so that should be all from our analysis. And please, I will advise, even if you are seeing a tradable sector before this news, it's advisable to actually wait for the news to be released, because markets may be very quiet before the NFP. So sometimes if you enter a trade, it may be in a range until, because the whole market globally is waiting for this news. So sometimes in the morning of NFP, there could be ranging. The market could go ranging. You may not have direct movement until that news is released. So take a lot of caution entering any trade this morning as much as possible. Is this live available on YouTube? Yes, it's available. It's being streamed live. You can watch it after we end the class. That's for Shade's FX. But Chooks is asking about DJ30. All right. DJ30. So I'll check DJ30 now. And for DJ30 and as 100, I've mentioned it times without number that for now, these instruments are more fundamental driven, but then we don't know what will happen at the NFP today. It will actually influence their movement. Okay, on the daily time frame, I can see that price is moving away from a support level for DJ30. Okay, so support, then it's already in an uptrend. And if I go down to the 4-hour time frame, on the 4-hour, what I'm seeing is very similar to an inverse head and shoulder pattern. So if this plays out, we may be looking at a bullish breakout, on DJ30. And many of these indices, NAS 100, DJ30, they are always positively correlated with the dollar, meaning if the dollar is buying, they also buy. So if the news comes out, favoring the dollar, we may expect a bullish breakout, on DJ30, So just watch out. So this, we have a resistance there, not exactly the neckline, but there's a resistance at this point. So if you see price break above that resistance level, that can be a confirmation to trigger a buy on DG30. However, please take a lot of caution because this setup I'm seeing is on 4 hours. It's on a lower time frame. That's what I'll give you. It's on 4 hours. So take note of your stop loss. It could be a bit wide. So just take caution with that. Emmanuel Okoy is asking about NAS 100. NAS 100 is at a resistance level on the daily time frame. It's a rising wedge at a resistance level. So that tells us there could be the possibility of a reversal technically. You may see a drop. So whichever direction that happens, today's NFP, I will advise you trade. But technically, I will prefer a sell because that is more clearer from the technical standpoint. However, if it breaks out upwards, well, price may break out and go and hit, the upper resistance level. But the first point of reference should be a sell before we look for a buy. But it all depends on the outcome of the NFP. So I would rather prefer a sell first because price is on the technical, it's on the resistance level rather. However, if it breaks out upwards, it will sell to that upper part of the trend line. But you can see that the sell will go longer than the buy. So it's about how the market presents it. Okay, Mr. is asking what instrument is DJ30? That's Dow Jones. On some platforms, it's labeled as US30. It's the same thing as DJ30 on our platform. What is the minimum live account in PU Prime? The question is asking is not really about the minimum, it's how much you are willing to make. Because minimum is subjective. Minimum is actually $50, but the truth is that how much profit can you make with $50 account? We call it student account in PU Prime. So students, if you want to make real money, it's advisable to put in something more reasonable. However, if that's what you have, you can get started with that. And if you don't have an account here with us, just go to our website right now. I'm typing it, www.puprime.com, and open an account, and our staff will reach out to you immediately. So to that person, that's who's the person again? That's Mr. Shola. Just go over to puprime.com. I just dropped the link and open a live account, and one of our staff will reach out to you immediately. Okay, Mr. Shola is asking how many years of existence is PU Prime? PU Prime was established in the year 2015, so we are 9 years in operation globally. Currently, about 3 years in Nigeria, and we have our presence in over 100 countries with physical office in about 20, which includes Nigeria. Our office is in Abuja. Abuja office is the head office for Nigeria, while Lagos is the regional office. So if you are based in either Abuja or Lagos, you can walk into any of those offices if you have any inquiries or you just want to see our faces. We are real people. Some of the people on the platform have seen us. We've been to some states in the country, and in those offices, if you want training, it's available for you as in physical training. For others who are outside of Lagos, Abuja, and its environment, they always join our online training. And we have this morning analysis session every day, Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. and 12:30 p.m., where we show you, we'll give you the analysis of what is going to buy or sell for the day, and we'll guide you to taking your trading decisions on those instruments. So if you need further inquiries, you can reach out to me. The link, the WhatsApp group where you got the link to this class, I'm the one that I dropped the link there. You can have a chat with me if you have further questions, and I'll be available to answer you. So backup, okay, this person using backup, please, maybe you should change your name. Let's have your real name, but then that does not mean I'll not respond to you. You're asking of BTC USD. So let me go over to BTC as we gradually try to round up. All right, so this is BTC USD. price is trading around this monthly resistance. There's a monthly resistance of the price. Price hit it some days ago, and we saw a very sharp decline, and it's been ranging since that time. You can see the price has been ranging. So this is what is going to happen to BTC. Currently, price is in a range. Or better still, let me represent it with the rectangle shape so that we can see it clearer. All right, so this is it. So BTC USD is trading currently in a range. So if it breaks out upwards, if we have a bullish breakout, then price will break out of this range to hit that monthly resistance. Now, if it hits that monthly resistance, if the volatility is not much, we'll experience a reversal afterwards. But at least the first thing is that if it breaks out of this range, it's going to buy at least to that monthly resistance. And if it's going to be a sell trade, you need to wait for price to break out below the lower part of the range for you to sell, possibly to the next support level, which is here. So I hope that can guide you to trading BTC. However, a sell will move more than a buy. A buy will just be to this resistance level, while a sell will break out.
Sorry for voicing in, please. Can I say something,
All right.
please, sir?
Go ahead,
okay,
sir.
thank you. Okay, if when the price breaks out from this rectangle, okay, should we be expecting a reversal? Because most times the market might just go without coming back to it, without reversing back to test that very resistance level. When it breaks out from that rectangle, it becomes the support there becomes the resistance there becomes support. Should we be expecting the price to retrace back before we enter? I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say.
You don't wait for retracements. If it breaks out, take your buy.
Oh, okay.
The thing about you are trying to talk about retest, right?
Yes.
The thing is that sometimes the retest is 50-50. It may happen and it may not happen. But then if you're a conservative trader, very conservative, yes, you have to wait for it. See, all these things, there are no hard and fast rule about it. It depends on your personality as an individual and your style of trading. If it is part of your trading rule to always wait for retest, then please wait for it. But it also means you will have fewer trades because there are times when it's not going to happen and you end up missing the trade. But then if you are more open-minded, you have your risk in place, you can take your trade. Once you've done, see, the most important thing is if you have done your analysis right. If you have your analysis as a bullish trade, then whether the test happens or not, there could be a retracement, price will still go in your direction, or it could just break out straight. So for me, analysis sometimes can override, principles like retest, because the retest will be how do I really put it, may not matter much if you are getting your direction right. Definitely, yes, if you enter a trade and it now retests, you'll be thrown into negative. That should be understood. But that's where your risk management comes in. But then there are times when you are waiting for the test and it doesn't happen at the trade. The trade just breaks out like that. So you have to choose the one that suits you. It's a personal thing, it's an individual thing. But if you want to be more in tune with being conservative, then please, you have to wait. You have to wait for your retest, even if it means you have to miss some trades. You have to follow your trading rules.
Thank you, sir. Well done.
Yeah. Okay, so I think I've attended to most of the questions. Okay, please let me mute. Okay, go ahead, sir.
How much is a dollar, please, the steel price?
How much is what?
$1, like $1 is steel price. It's the long I funded my account and I've not been trading. So this period of time that dollar increases now, I just want to start trading. I hope I'll be cashing out to the current dollar.
Well, we know the exchange rate has been fluctuating in Nigeria in the last some months now. So also on the platform, there has been a fluctuation. I don't have the it changes virtually every day on our platform. Maybe you should reach out to me I don't have the one for today yet because we get updated. It has not been released yet. I'm trying to see if I can find the one for yesterday. But then, not to take our time, you can just send me a chat on my WhatsApp. I'll respond to you on the current exchange rate. So you can reach me through the WhatsApp, which I use in dropping this link in your WhatsApp group. I'll surely give you the update.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so you're welcome, sir. What of DE30? We have DG30. DE30 is another index altogether. How much is dollar? Okay, I think I just responded to that. Mr. Victor Bole is asking, check US oil. US oil. So let's check US oil. This is US oil, and price hit a resistance. We have a resistance here yesterday. So on the same level, we have another one right below it here. This two here is still very valid. It's still valid. So we have a resistance level up there. And on 4 hour, you can see it's still valid as a resistance. So if the news favors, well, I don't want to use the news on this one because this one can just break out on its own. Sometimes can be independent. All I will just look out for is a breakout, since we're looking at the resistance level, just a minute, please. Now, aside the resistance, I'm actually going to be favoring a symmetrical triangle on US oil. So this gives us a dual opportunity. So that's what I'm seeing now. Aside the resistance, I'm seeing a symmetrical triangle. So if price breaks out upwards, you can buy. And if price breaks out downwards, you can sell. So that's the analysis on US oil. But the person asking about US oil, what we have is a symmetrical triangle where price could break out on either side. So please take note of that.
Sir, which currency pair is it?
US
Which
oil.
currency pair is this one?
It's not a currency. It's a commodity. It's US oil, crude oil. And Mr.
Okay,
Victor
sir. Okay, sir.
is the one that asked. Yeah. Okay, I'm rounding up in a few minutes. Somebody is asking me to check Euro USD. I think that should be the last one I'll check. All right, so that'll be the last instrument I'll check, Euro USD. Now, if you observe for the NFP, I did not mention the Euro USD. And I always say it when I don't mention some instruments, if there's no clarity around it, I don't like to gamble. I only give you an instrument that has the potential to move. If the potential is not there, there's no point mentioning it. I'm not seeing clarity on it. Now, this is a Euro USD. I'm just taking it down to the weekly time frame now, and price is actually far from it on the weekly and on the daily. So that nullifies the weekly outlook. On the daily, I'm not seeing it around any resistance level. Now let me check even Fibonacci, maybe around the Fibonacci level. All right, it's trading around Fibonacci 60. Did it get there? Close, but it's still a distance away from Fibonacci 60, 61.8 rather. But then I'm not seeing any clarity on it. But then definitely if the dollar is going to go bullish like we anticipate technically, then Euro USD may sell. Though it's not really at the resistance level, neither is it on the Fibonacci level. But if the USD CHF is going to buy, it will sell. Same thing, if USD CHF is going to sell, it will also buy. So that's just all I can say about it. But I'll put my emphasis more on USD CHF because there's a technical setup, for that one. All right, I think that will be all this morning. Samuel, when exactly should we place a trade when the news breaks out? Because the spike and volatility are scaring immediately the news occurs to avoid hitting stop loss? That's a very big question. Now, you might have to go to my YouTube channel and watch a video on Forex fundamental strategies. Yeah, that's the title. Quite a number of people on the platform, they watched that video. We had a, excuse me, we had a live session. We had a live session about, I think about a week ago or so. So it's a good thing I streamed it on YouTube so that I can always be available, especially on a day like this. Though for everybody, don't worry, in the afternoon, we're still going to have a more comprehensive analysis for NFP. My other colleague will handle that in the afternoon session. But this one I'm giving is just a preview. So how do you trade before the news? You can watch the video. However, there are a lot of strategies. The one we have explored more on this analysis this morning is to trade along with the trend. So you trade along with the trend. If the news is released, once it is released, and I gave you an instance, if it is a red, 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 or a green, 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 there will be minimal spike in such a scenario. What leads to a spike is when you have a red and green simultaneously. That is what leads to a spike. Even if there's going to be a spike at all in a red, 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 green, it will be very minimal. Price will go more in one direction. But once you see that the data is conflicting in dollar, one is red, one is green, that will lead to a spike. But I've given you the solution to that. If you see a red and a green, first of all, wait, let the spike die down. Then you can now trade, in the direction of the technicals. Generally for the dollar, technically, I see it more on the bullish side, except NFP does otherwise. So let's say you have for the NFP news now, there are three. So if you have two of them, green and one is red, the sentiment technically is bullish. So that is still a buy. Even if there's a spike, you may wait a little for the spike to clear out and enter a buy, you will still be safe. But on the other side, if you have two red, one green, fundamentally a sell. Technically, you may trade it, but again, just wait a little. Let the spike die down. When I say wait a little, you can wait for the first 5 minutes. At least majority of the spike will arrive at that time. Now, except you now want to set a pending order. That is another way to trade it. You can set the pending buy stop and sell stop order some minutes before the release of the news. But take note, there is no system that is 100% perfect, because if there's a spike, it's possible it may trigger both, and both may. That's the extreme case that could happen. Both trades could be triggered, and sometimes both trade could be in a loss. So it all depends on your choice. But mostly when I trade news, what I do is I trade it more along with what the technical is saying, and I do it more as, like a swing strategy. That's the way I trade personally. But then we are not all the same. Trade it the way it works for you. If you're an intraday trader, pick some few pips and get out of the market. We all have our different practices. So that's just it. The person that unmuted, is it trying to talk? Okay, but it's not talking. So I think that will be all. Let's just look a little briefly. I've not seen any setup on the, today's NFP. Markets can be quiet. I'm on the PU demand, PU profit scanner. NFP days, markets could be quiet in the mornings. So I want you to take note of that. Yeah, in some instances, it's possible to get a trade, but in most other, so sometimes it's just advisable to just wait till the news before you trade. There's nothing currently in the market. Market is quiet. Market is just on the quiet side. So wait. If there's any other signal along the day, in the course of the day, we'll surely drop in the WhatsApp group for you. But at the moment now, I'm not the one that's started and is already moving. I will not advise you enter this. That's on AEDJPY. This happened earlier in the morning, as early as 4 a.m. This one started at 4 a.m. and it has done about 16 pips. It has done 16 pips already. But aside that, I'm not seeing any other setup. It's too late to enter that one now. So you may just have to wait till the NFP. But like I said, we'll see another one before the NFP. We'll surely drop the signal. And if you're yet to be a part of our Telegram group, I will advise you. You can still join. You can reach out to your account manager. You can add you to the group. Between now and the 15th of the month, it's still free. But for the 15th of the month, if you are already a subscribed, client on our platform, you need to top up with $100 to remain in that group. And if you are completely new, you will need to fund with $200 in order to join, that signal group. Okay, so we're going to end here this morning. Take care and have a great day ahead. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you. God bless.
You're welcome.